I sat in the dim glow of the kitchen, the clock ticking softly like a heartbeat in the silence, staring at the worn pages of her private journal that I'd stumbled upon in the attic. The air was thick with the scent of stale coffee from my untouched mug, its ceramic cool against my palms, as words scrawled in her familiar handwriting blurred through my tears, confessions of a night at a friend's birthday party that shattered everything. The house, once a haven of shared laughter and routines, now felt like a hollow shell, shadows dancing on the walls from the streetlight outside, whispering of secrets long buried. In that ordinary midnight moment, surrounded by the faint hum of the refrigerator and the chill seeping from the tiled floor, I realized the emotional withdrawal I'd sensed for months wasn't just fatigue. It was the prelude to a betrayal that would redefine my life. How had 16 years led to this? What would you do if the person you trusted most turned out to be a stranger, their lies unraveling in the quiet of your own home? Hey everyone, my name's Alex, and at 37, I never thought I'd be pouring out my soul to an online audience like this. I'm a software developer, working from our modest home in a quiet Seattle suburb, where my days are filled with code and coffee, balanced by our 2 kids, a 12-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter, who keep life vibrant. After 16 years of marriage, I've always been the reflective type, cherishing the stability we've built, even through the ups and downs, convinced our bond was unbreakable. My wife, Sarah, is 35, a graphic designer with a freelance gig that lets her work flexible hours, her emotionally closed nature something I've grown accustomed to over the years. She shares in snippets, her smiles rare but genuine when they appear. Our dynamic has always been one of quiet companionship, her independence complementing my steadier presence, though lately, that closure feels more like a barrier. That evening, as rain pattered against the windows in a steady rhythm, casting rippling shadows across the living room, I watched her from the couch. She was scrolling on her phone, the screen's blue light illuminating her face, her thumb pausing occasionally with a subtle flick. The room smelled of the pasta we'd shared for dinner, garlic lingering in the air, the plates still stacked in the sink with a faint clink when the house settled. She glanced up, her eyes meeting mine briefly before darting away, a micro-expression of unease flashing, a slight tightening of her lips, her shoulders hunching imperceptibly as she set the phone down face first on the coffee table, its glass surface smooth under her fingers. I rationalized it as work stress, her job demanding more lately, but a nagging doubt stirred. Why the hurried concealment? As she excused herself to bed early, her footsteps soft on the carpeted stairs, leaving me in the growing darkness, I couldn't shake the sense that our ordinary life was tilting off balance. But as the rain intensified, drumming harder on the roof, I wondered if this was just the beginning of something I wasn't ready to face. Alex's expectations of a stable, unbreakable marriage after 16 years clashed sharply with the reality of Sarah's emotional withdrawal, setting up an illusion of harmony that denial sustains. He hoped for enduring companionship, rationalizing her closed nature as a quirk, but the journal's discovery awakens him to betrayal's undercurrents. This contrast emphasizes emotional awakening. Subtle cues like averted eyes and concealed phones erode trust, revealing how overlooked micro-expressions signal deeper issues. Trust, once foundational, gives way to suspicion, with Alex's reflective state amplifying internal conflict. The lesson lies in recognizing that idealized perceptions blind us to reality, fostering personal growth through painful clarity. Sensory details heighten psychological realism, mirroring how everyday environments mask turmoil, ultimately empowering Alex to question rather than assume. The next morning broke with a watery sun filtering through the blinds, casting striped patterns on the kitchen floor where I stood brewing coffee, the machine's gurgle a familiar anchor in the routine. Sarah emerged from upstairs, her hair tied back loosely, wearing her usual yoga pants and oversized sweater, the fabric soft and worn from years of lazy weekends. She poured herself a bowl of cereal, the milk splashing lightly, and sat at the island, spoon clinking against the porcelain in rhythmic bites. Our kids bustled around, grabbing backpacks with the rustle of zippers and the scent of fresh toast wafting from the counter, their chatter about school projects filling the air with youthful energy. "Have a good day," I said, kissing her cheek, but she turned slightly, her skin cool, offering a murmured response without looking up. Our ordinary life had always revolved around these small rituals: mornings chaotic with family, evenings winding down with TV or board games, the living room's plush couch enveloping us as laughter echoed off the walls. At 37, with 16 years behind us, I'd come to value this predictability, my remote work allowing flexibility for kid pickups, Sarah's designs bringing creative flair to our home, walls adorned with her prints that caught the light in vibrant hues. But subtle hints crept in, like the way she'd linger in the bathroom after showers, steam carrying hints of her citrus body wash, emerging with a distant gaze. One afternoon, as I worked in my home office, the keyboard's soft clicks underscoring my focus, I heard her laughter from the hallway, a bright, unguarded peal that stopped abruptly when she noticed me. That night, during dinner, the sizzle of stir-fry in the wok mixing with the kids' stories, she seemed withdrawn, fork pushing food around her plate with absent scrapes. Her phone buzzed on the table, a soft vibration, and she flipped it over quickly, her fingers lingering on the case. "Work email," she said preemptively, but her smile didn't reach her eyes, a faint crease forming between her brows. Inside, I felt a twinge of unease, rationalizing it as deadline pressure, but the emotional distance was palpable now, conversations shorter, her touches rarer. Weeks passed in this vein, marked by small anomalies. She'd started dressing up more for client meetings, her lipstick a bolder red, the tube clicking shut in the bathroom mirror. One evening, as twilight painted the sky in purples, she announced a friend's birthday party, her voice casual but her hands twisting a napkin slightly. "Won't be late," she added, avoiding my gaze. I nodded, but as she left, the door clicking shut with a finality, the house felt emptier, the kids' homework rustling in the background unable to fill the void. These moments built like layers of fog, obscuring but not hiding the cracks. I'd catch her typing late at night, the phone's glow under the covers, quickly extinguished when I stirred, the mattress dipping subtly. Or she'd take calls in the garage, her voice muffled by the door, emerging with flushed cheeks blamed on the cold air. I told myself it was nothing, perhaps reconnecting with old friends, the birthday invite a harmless outing. But the core problem, her cheating at that party, loomed unknown, the emotional withdrawal a symptom I couldn't yet name. One weekend, as we walked the dog in the park, leaves crunching underfoot in crisp autumn air, she pulled her hand from mine to check a message, her expression softening into a secret smile. That gesture, innocuous yet intimate, planted the first real seed of trouble. Back home, as the sun dipped low, warming the windows with golden light, I sat alone, the leather armchair creaking, nursing a beer that tasted flat. The doubt festered, was our life as solid as I believed? As night fell, stars pricking the sky outside, I couldn't dismiss the growing intuition that something was amiss. Through Sarah's subtle behaviors, like quick phone concealments and distant gazes, the emotional withdrawal exposes hidden tensions, deepening the central conflict of impending betrayal. The children's innocent bustle contrasts her detachment, indirectly heightening stakes by underscoring family vulnerability. Alex's internal rationalizations reveal his attachment patterns, using denial to protect the marital illusion, while Sarah's closed personality motivates her secrecy, perhaps shielding guilt. Neighbors or friends aren't directly involved yet, but the subplot of the birthday party invitation misleads unintentionally, protecting her truth for personal reasons. This character-driven lens shows how overlapping actions, her flushed cheeks, his twinges of unease, accumulate psychological pressure, illustrating trust erosion. Lessons emerge in observing nonverbal cues for early intervention, fostering empowerment through awareness, as denial coping gives way to emerging suspicion. The suspicion solidified gradually, like ice forming on a windowpane, starting with those late-night phone glows and evolving into a constant undercurrent. I'd begun noting patterns unconsciously, her phone usage spiking in the evenings, the screen brightness dimmed when I entered the room, her thumbs flying across the keys with focused intensity. The house's late-night silence amplified everything, the soft tap of typing, the faint chime of notifications silenced but visible in vibrations. One dim morning, as fog clung to the windows, cold and opaque, I saw her change her password, her fingers hesitating on the screen, glancing over her shoulder with a subtle paranoia that set my heart racing. Moral dilemmas plagued me. Should I peek at her phone, betraying the trust that defined our 16 years? At 37, with kids relying on our stability, the thought felt like a violation, yet intuition screamed otherwise. Red herrings appeared, calming the storm temporarily. A delayed reply explained as battery died. Her emotional highs during family game nights restoring normalcy, laughter echoing warmly. But then doubt surged, longer work hours. Her laptop closed hastily upon my approach, the lid snapping shut with a click. Emotional swings became routine. Relief washed over me when an unfamiliar name in her contacts turned out to be a new client, the explanation plausible, my shoulders relaxing in the warm kitchen light. Anger flickered next, quick and hot, when I found deleted chats, the empty history staring back mockingly. Guilt followed, self-doubt whispering I was overreacting, my obsessive thinking turning meals into tense affairs, the forks tying scraping plates too loudly. Small discoveries fueled the fire, hidden notifications popping up as spam, but the sender's icon a blurred photo, unexplained charges for ride shares to unfamiliar asses, receipts crumpled in her bag with the scent of perfume clinging. Insomnia gripped me, the bedroom's cold air heavy, ticking clock marking sleepless hours, shallow breaths sinking with racing thoughts. Hyper-awareness made every detail suspect. Her smiling at messages in the car, the reflection in the mirror showing a softness absent from our interactions. Environmental tension built in dim rooms, the study lamp casting long shadows as I pondered altered schedules. Our daughter mentioned innocently, "Mom's been happy lately." Her words during dinner, spoons stirring soup with steam rising, planting seeds of worry. Our son found a stray earring in the car, not Sarah's, his small hands holding it up curiously, a red herring blamed on a coworker. The brink approached with overlapping events. A neighbor chatted over the fence, grass clippings scenting the air, mentioning seeing Sarah at a cafe downtown, during her work meeting. Relief came when she confirmed it, but anger boiled at the unusual route shown on her app, detours unexplained. Then, the undeniable find, a location tag on a forgotten social media story, a photo from the birthday party with a man's arm around her, cropped but telling. Not confronted yet, it burned in my mind, the screen's glow accusatory in the dark. As thunder rumbled distant, the air electric, I knew confrontation loomed. If Alex had confronted Sarah's emotional withdrawal earlier, perhaps through open dialogue instead of passive observation, the story might have veered toward reconciliation, exposing the affair before it deepened and averting the journal discovery. Missed opportunities, like addressing the password change or unexplained charges directly, could have prompted her confession, reducing psychological strain and family tension. Instead, his denial and moral dilemmas allowed suspicions to fester, leading to insomnia and obsession. This path highlights trust's fragility. Early intervention might preserve attachment, but unchecked intuition spirals into fragmentation. Lessons in communication empower growth, showing that alternative choices, therapy or boundaries, could mitigate betrayal's consequences, emphasizing emotional responses like guilt as catalysts for change rather than destruction. The shift to active investigation felt like crossing a threshold, the moral weight heavy as I began piecing together the fragments in secret. I tracked phone patterns more deliberately, noting peaks after the kids' bedtime, the device's hum vibrating through the nightstand wood. One afternoon, sunlight slanting through the office blinds and golden bars, I glanced at her unlocked tablet left charging, a chat flash revealing, "Can't wait to see you again." From Mark, an unfamiliar name that sent a chill despite the room's warmth. Guilt surged. Was this betrayal of trust worse than hers? I closed it quickly, rationalizing it as a client, but the seeds sprouted. Setbacks riddled the process. Altered schedules led to red herrings, a late night claimed as design deadline, with emails to prove it, temporarily easing my hypervigilance, the computer's fan whirring softly as I verified. But suspense mounted with small discoveries, deleted texts recovered via app history, vague but intimate, unexplained charges for hotel coffee, receipts in her wallet with crisp folds. Moral conflicts intensified, snooping felt invasive, yet love demanded truth, my hands trembling as I inputted her new password guessed from our anniversary. Psychological strain deepened, insomnia turning nights into vigils, the bed's cool sheets tangled, ticking clock a relentless reminder. Obsessive thinking overlapped with family subplots, our daughter accidentally knocking over Sarah's bag, spilling a keychain with M engraved, her innocent. Who's this for? Heightening stakes, the metal clinking on the floor. A relative, Sarah's sister, called, her voice over the phone mentioning a fun birthday party. Sarah attended, unintentionally misleading with details that didn't add up. Red herrings twisted the path, a fictitious identity in contacts as Jim Buddy explained away, relief flooding like cool air from an open window. But then unusual routes on her GPS, detours to parks stirring errands, fueled doubt. Anger swung to guilt when a hidden alliance emerged, a friend protecting Sarah's secret, their casual chat over coffee revealing slips about Mark. The web converged in the attic, dust motes swirling in flashlight beam, the air musty as I searched boxes amid holiday decor. Her private journal, leather-bound and tucked away, its pages whispering as I opened it, entries detailing the birthday party cheating with Mark, lies layered upon emotional confessions. Undeniable, but unconfronted, the words seared. Footsteps downstairs signaled her return, the door creaking, but I replaced it, heart pounding. The chain reaction loomed. Sarah's emotional withdrawal causes Alex's suspicion, triggering his investigation and moral dilemmas, which in turn lead to discoveries like the journal, exposing the betrayal. One lie, the birthday party alibi, exposes another, the affair with Mark, creating a chain reaction that accumulates psychological pressure and shatters trust. Family subplots, like the daughter's accidental find, indirectly connect, heightening emotional stakes and converging at the climax. Consequences include irreversible detachment, with Alex's denial giving way to clarity. This illustrates motivations. Sarah's closure stems from guilt, while Alex's actions from fear, teaching lessons in addressing signs early to prevent devastating realizations and fostering empowerment through truth-seeking. The journal's revelations propelled me into the confrontation, the attic's dust still clinging to my clothes as I descended, the stairs creaking underfoot. Evening light filtered dimly through curtains, casting the living room in muted grays, the hum of the dishwasher in the kitchen a banal backdrop to the tension. Sarah sat on the couch, scrolling her phone, the screen's glow softening her features until she looked up, sensing my approach. I placed the journal on the table with a soft thud, its cover worn, and sat opposite, the cushions sighing. Her eyes widened, a flicker of recognition, her posture stiffening imperceptibly. "What's this?" she asked, voice steady but hands clasping tighter, knuckles pale. I opened to a marked page, paper rustling, reading. "The birthday party was perfect cover. Mark made me feel alive." Shock registered, her breath catching, face draining of color in the fading light. Denial surged. "That's not real. I was venting fantasies." Pauses stretched, broken sentences hanging. "You invaded my privacy." Deflection followed, her eyes narrowing, fear lurking beneath. I pressed. "How long?" Anger restrained, my voice low, clarity sharpening the pain. Partial confession emerged amid tears, glistening tracks down her cheeks. "It started emotional, the party escalated. Unexpected twist, the affair longer than a night, months, emotional attachment deep, blame shifting. You've been absent, buried in work." Gaslighting flickered. "It's not what you think, just flirting." But entries contradicted, detailing physical betrayal at the party. Sensory details intensified, cold silence after admissions, appliance hum underscoring voids. Her trembling shoulders, my clenched fists, shallow breaths sinking in discord. Internal state shifted, shock to detachment, anger held by resolve. Threads collided, kids' remarks reframed as clues, financial secrecy revealed, withdrawals for secret meets. "Our family," I said, voice breaking. She sobbed. "I'm sorry," reaching out, but I recoiled gently. No explosion, just stillness, the emotional silence enveloping us as night deepened. Fear drives Sarah's denial and deflection, her tears and blame shifting externalizing guilt, while pride prevents full confession, influencing partial admissions that heighten tension. Alex's shock turns to restrained anger, fueling direct dialogue and journal reading, his clarity prompting detachment and recall, connecting internal grief to boundary setting. Jealousy underlies his probing, but resolve empowers calm, avoiding rage. Subplots like financial secrecy intersect, amplifying collective pain. Consequences: trust breaks, leading to silence, illustrating coping, denial for her, confrontation for him. This underscores motivations. Her closure masks vulnerability. His reflection fosters growth, teaching that emotions guide decisions toward empowerment or regret. The fallout settled like dust after a storm, the house divided into zones of avoidance, cold interactions marking our days. I slept in the guest room, the mattress firm and unfamiliar, sheets carrying a faint laundry scent without her presence. Mornings evolved, solo coffee rituals, the mug's warmth in my hands as dawn light spilled across the counter, birds chirping outside symbolizing tentative freedom. Discussions turned practical, finances parsed over spreadsheets, the keyboard clicks echoing in the study, living arrangements, me eyeing apartments online, screen glowing in the quiet night. External reactions rippled, kids sensed the shift, our son's behavioral changes, quieter at dinner, forks scraping slowly, catalyzing talks, their innocent questions heightening my resolve. Friends offered support during walks, paths crunching underfoot in crisp air, their words a lifeline. Legal consultation followed, the lawyer's office with its leather chairs and ticking wall clock grounding decisions. Sarah's behavior oscillated, regret and tearful pleas. "Can we try therapy?" Fear in withdrawn silences, attempts to repair with cooked meals, aromas filling the kitchen, but met with my firm boundaries. My evolution, grief's fog lifting to clarity, therapy sessions in a cozy room with soft lighting aiding processing. Symbolic independence, removing my ring, metal cool on the nightstand, new hobbies like running, pavement pounding rhythmically, sweat cooling in the breeze, social life blooming with old friends, laughter over beers in warmly lit pubs. Fully independent now, routines mine, morning jogs with sunrise painting the sky, coffee savored alone but peacefully, exploring coding side projects, keyboard tactile under fingers, dating tentatively, heart open but cautious. The silent separation formalized, minimal contact for co-parenting, acceptance bittersweet. Nearly 20% of marriages face infidelity. And I was one, realizing trust's fragility, but resilience rebuilds. The narrative arc traces Alex's journey from reflective denial to empowered independence, Betrayal's revelation through the birthday party affair culminating in silent separation. Cumulative lessons highlight trust erosion via emotional withdrawal, with denial as a blind spot allowing lies to chain react. Character growth shines in Alex's transformation, from rationalizing suspicions to confronting truth, introducing moral ambiguity via his own work absences. Emotional closure comes through reflection, catharsis and independence, underscoring universal insights. Human blindness to subtle signs perpetuates pain, but awareness fosters resilience. Broader themes of perception reveal how overlapping secrets and family tensions make collapse inevitable, teaching that betrayal, while devastating, catalyzes personal empowerment and hope for renewal.